Okay, so we're diving into Aldous Huxley's Brave New World. It's weird, right? Like how these dystopias always seem to suck us in.
It's that thrill of the forbidden, isn't it? Seeing how bad things could get.
Yeah. Or maybe there's a part of us that's like, what if things were just easier? You know, more straightforward.
What I find fascinating is that Huxley was wrestling with these very questions back in 1931 when he wrote this.
Oh, wow, really? Back then?
Oh, yeah. And it gets even more interesting. See, his grandfather was a huge champion of Darwin's theories, so this whole concept of a perfectly engineered society, of actually messing with
It
evolution.
must really hit home for him.
Exactly. It wasn't just some thought experiment. It was Huxley grappling with some seriously big questions about, like, what makes us human?
Which is kind of what makes this whole dystopian thing so creepy, right? Makes you think.
Oh,
Okay, so
yeah.
before we go full on ignorance is bliss here, let's set the stage a bit. Community, identity, stability, the motto of the world state. Catchy, huh?
Deceptively so. Because while those things sound appealing on the surface,
There's something just not quite right about it. Like it's too perfect, too controlled.
that's Huxley's genius. He dangles this seemingly idyllic society in front of you, but there's this underlying current of unease. Sure, stability and happiness sound great on paper, but at what cost? In the world state, that stability comes at the expense of individuality, of freedom, even of family.
Yeah, and let's not forget, babies don't exactly come from families in this world. More like, bottles.
Literally. Huxley doesn't ease us in. He throws us right into the deep end with the Central London Hatchery and Conditioning Center.
Like a factory. But instead of churning out cars, they're mass-producing people.
Genetically engineered people, to be precise. And the way he describes the Bokanovsky process, where they can create hundreds of identical twins from a single egg, it's both a marvel of efficiency and a terrifying display of social control.
It's that image of them checking an embryo's growth, making it bud into dozens of twins. That's what gets me.
It's chilling, isn't it?
Totally. It makes you wonder what Huxley would say about things like gene editing today.
It's eerie how much he predicted.
It really is. But this control, it goes way beyond just their genes. Huxley takes us inside those conditioning centers. And it's all about molding these manufactured humans into their predetermined roles.
Every desire, every preference, carefully cultivated through hypnopedic learning.
So they play messages on repeat while these babies sleep, and it gets, like, ingrained in their subconscious.
Exactly. Imagine it like drops of sealing wax, hardening, becoming a part of the person. That's how Huxley describes it.
Wow. That's tense
Ah.
and creepy. But it's not just facts or skills they're learning, right? It's more like,
Indoctrination.
exactly, shaping their entire worldview.
Morality itself becomes whatever keeps their society ticking along smoothly.
Like that scene where they condition the babies to associate books and flowers with pain.
A powerful image, isn't it?
Disturbing, but effective. It shows how our values aren't always innate. They're taught.
And in the world state, they're designed to maintain control.
And it's not just those lower castes, right? Even the alphas and betas, they're still being, like, subtly nudged towards certain preferences.
Especially when it comes to love and relationships, which is where things get really interesting.
Because in this world, family, monogamy,
Yeah.
those are practically taboo.
Exactly. See, to really get the world state, you got to understand how they view these things, and it's basically like recreational activities, no strings attached.
So they've engineered out all the messy stuff, passion, jealousy, those deep connections that come with family.
Think about it. Those emotions, they're unpredictable, right? They disrupt the system.
And they can't have that, which is where I guess Soma comes in. Their magic fix for any unpleasant feelings.
Soma is essential to maintaining their version of happiness and stability. Sad, papagram, angry. Soma's got you covered.
It's like the perfect drug. No downsides. Well, at least not on the surface.
And that's what makes it so fascinating, right? Because it forces us to ask, what is happiness in this world? Is it real if it's just chemically induced?
Right. Like, they have that saying, a gram is better than a dam. But is it really?
It's the core dilemma Huxley throws at us. Soma makes them content, sure, but at what cost?
It's like they're trading their freedom for a blissful haze.
And that's the question, isn't it? How much are we willing to give up for comfort, for stability, even for this kind of manufactured happiness?
Which brings us to the guy who throws a wrench in the whole system. John, the savage. He's from the reservation, right? Where things are still, well, savage.
He's our glimpse into a world untouched by the world state's conditioning. A world with real emotions, real pain, real love.
And he's read Shakespeare.
Oh,
Imagine that.
he has this understanding of beauty, of tragedy, of what it means to truly feel things, something the world state has completely eradicated.
Which makes him kind of a problem for them. I mean, they don't know what to do with someone who doesn't fit into their neat little boxes.
When John enters this civilized world, he isn't just unimpressed, he's repulsed. He sees right through their facade of happiness.
Yeah, and then there's that scene with Lenina.
Oh, that's a tough one to read.
She tries to seduce him, and he completely freaks out.
It's like their two worlds are colliding, and they just can't compute each other.
She's coming from this place of casual sex like it's nothing, and he sees it as this sacred thing.
It's more than just sex, though. It's a complete clash of values.
And John, he refuses to play by their rules. He'd rather feel everything, the pain, the heartbreak, even the loss, because to him, that's what it means to be human. And that need to feel things so deeply, it kind of leads to John's downfall, doesn't it? Like, he tries to rebel against the whole system.
He does. He wants to shake them out of their soma-induced stupor and make them see what they're missing.
It's kind of sad, though, because they don't want to be shaken.
Of course not. Feeling things, truly feeling them, it means opening yourself up to pain, to loss, to all the messy stuff they've been conditioned to avoid.
Like he's saying, wake up. And they're like, nope, we're good.
It's a heartbreaking paradox, right? The more John tries to liberate them, the more they cling to their comfortable chains.
It makes you wonder, is Huxley saying that fighting back is pointless? That we're all just going to succumb to this kind of manufactured happiness?
I don't think it's about being pointless exactly, but Huxley definitely makes us confront an unsettling reality. What happens when comfort becomes so ingrained, so essential, that people would rather be controlled than feel anything real?
And John, he just can't deal with that. He ends up isolating himself, right? Like, if he can't change the world, he'll create his own little bubble of, well, reality, I guess.
He retreats to that dilapidated lighthouse, seeking refuge in solitude. It's a tragic ending, but an incredibly powerful image.
So when we step back from all this, the world state, John's rebellion, his tragic ending, what is Huxley really trying to say to us? I mean, we're not living in a literal Brave New World, but some of it feels uncomfortably close to home, you know?
Exactly. And that's what makes Huxley so relevant even today. It's not about the specific technologies he imagined, but the deeper trends he tapped into. This constant pursuit of pleasure, this need for instant gratification.
Oh, totally. Like they had Soma, we have, well, everything, basically, all the time at our fingertips.
And it's even more insidious now, right? Because it's so easy to just do out, to numb ourselves with endless distractions.
Silence is terrifying. Discomfort is the enemy. Got to stay busy. Got to stay plugged in.
Huxley is warning us that a life without any struggle, any real highs and lows, might ultimately ring hollow.
So it's a choice then. Like we have to actively choose to engage with the messy, complicated, uncomfortable parts of being human, or we risk, well, becoming like them.
And that's the beauty of Brave New World. It doesn't give us answers, but it forces us to ask some pretty tough questions about ourselves, about our world, about what we're willing to sacrifice in the pursuit of happiness.
And that's something worth thinking about. So whether you're just starting your journey with Brave New World, or you're a seasoned veteran of dystopian literature, I hope our deep dive has given you something to chew on. Until next time, keep questioning, keep exploring, and most importantly, keep feeling.